Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael, they like to do the thing where they go at each other with different ideas of what the thing is supposed to be, of the thing that they're talking about. And this time around, that thing is what? The Mount Rushmore of great songs less than 2 minutes in length. Michael chose it. Why?
As I am wont to do, I was driving home listening to some music, and I heard a song which will be one of my later choices, and I thought, wow, this is such. I think the song of my choice was such a perfect song, and just how it was captured, and it was such a short song too, and just got me thinking. You know, we're so used to songs being anywhere from, traditional songs, traditional like pop songs.
Your 3-minute pop song.
3 minute, 3.5 minutes. Sometimes you get like a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure later on at some other point in our podcast, we'll record like an episode that's like great songs that are at least 6 minutes long. They're these, long and winding and multifaceted things. But like to write a song that's great, that captures everything you need it to in under 2 minutes, that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I love that, it's like that when you're creating a mixtape and you're always being like, well, I think I can get one more in here. Mm-hmm. I think I can get one more in here. I'm at 87 minutes of recorded stuff, and I can get 2 more on a 90-minute tape. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can find a song that's under 2 minutes. But I like a good short song that does it all. And I did have one caveat, which was no jokey stuff. No joke songs. So if there's a Tenacious D song on here, I'm going to be very mad. Also interstitial stuff and skits. We get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one that I had on here.
Oh.
Was a They Might Be Giants. They did this thing for this album, Apollo 18, where they had a suite called Fingertips, which were 21 different songs that were about a minute, about 5 seconds to a minute long. I think that would have fallen into your jokey category.
Maybe. They Might Be Giants always kind of bridge that gap of, I don't know what is serious. I don't know how serious they are about it. Right. So I guess I would say let the judge rule on that if you do decide to use that. But they are like the one band that is like, who are these guys? They're right in the middle of they can be anything.
Right.
So it's not. I wouldn't be offended by that. But a Tenacious D song. Get out of here. I love the D though, but not for this category. For this topic.
Okay. Well, Michael chose it. Richard starts.
All right, so my first choice is the song Alison by the Pixies. The song that was written about the 60s jazz and soul singer, jazz and blues singer Mose Allison. So a lot of people hear Alison and they assume it's about a female Alison, much like Elvis Costello wrote about. In fact, it's a tribute to one of Black Francis's kind of musical heroes. Mm-hmm. A song that was under 2 minutes in length. I think comes in about 1:15 or something like that.
Oh wow, that's real short.
It's short.
That's
it's basically
great.
A couple of verses and a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Enough to the point where for the lead single from the album, which was I believe that was Trompe Le Monde, they chose Dig for Fire. But for the video, they actually had Dig for Fire and then also tacked Alison on as a second song in the video.
Oh, that's funny.
That's how kind of short, but also really good the song is. It's probably one of the more commercially kind of pop-oriented songs that the Pixies did, which is interesting, the fact that they kept it so incredibly short while doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's a great example of a song that has this real attack to it, and is able to accomplish that in a very short amount of time.
1:15.
It's something like that. I'll look it up to be exactly sure, but
That's
it's something really small like that.
The Pixies are an interesting band because they can kind of go all over the place too.
Right. A correction, it is off of Bossa Nova. I don't want to get yelled at about that one.
Yeah, nerds, put down your
pitchforks. Pitchfork Records, put down your pitchforks.
All right, Winfield, what do you got?
Okay, my first choice, and I just mine are in order of just length of the song. Mm-hmm. And I wanted a punk song, and I thought, oh, well, if I'm gonna have a punk song, I'm gonna have Judy is a Punk by the Ramones.
Okay.
Nice.
And it's a song that just moves from, like all Ramones songs, they all tend to be pretty short.
Yeah.
But it just moves at such a clip. And Joey Ramone sings it at such a speed. And it's the same verse kind of, they even kind of sing about it.
Second verse, same as the first, right?
Yeah, they do a Henry VIII sort of thing, or
Yeah.
I'm Henry VIII sort of thing. Is
Yeah.
they, even once they get to the third verse, it's just a version of the first one over and over, and just singing, Jackie's a punt, Judy is a runt, and blah, blah, and off he goes. And I just love the energy of a song, and it just wraps up real quick, and you're like, there you go. That's a great little Ramones ditty song, and they were just so
Most of
good
Ramones,
at that.
there are very few Ramones songs that are going to be clocking in at like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
magnum
probably
opuses.
Yeah, they probably had shows that were about 5 minutes.
Probably,
involved,
yeah.
Do you think that pop music has no really mandate on how long it needs to be, other than, I guess the structure needs to be shorter than the vinyl that it was put on originally, or the medium that's carrying it? But I think of artists like Benny Goodman, or these people who played at dances and things like that, or playing at shows. They had people just wanted to come out and dance. And
Yeah.
the music was a thing for them to enjoy dancing and being around other people and to get crazy to. So I think I would want a song to be long if it was back in the day.
I think the punk music, when it started to come around, was definitely, a lot of it was just kind of breaking norms and inventing something new and changing the structure of what songs are, and and just reducing it down to this is all we need to have for this song. We don't need to have, there doesn't need to be a bridge. There doesn't need to, you don't need to have the filler of like a traditional.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the interesting things about a topic like this is, you have a song that has, verse, chorus, verse, bridge, some sort of reprise, and you just start listening to pop songs, and they all have a very similar structure, and you get into a short Pixies song, a Ramones song, any sort of punk song, and it can be what we want it to be, not necessarily what a traditional radio play song is.
Sure. And that actually dovetails into my next choice very well,
Super.
which is White Riot by The Clash.
Lovely song. Great.
Lovely.
Great song.
It is a great song. The first single that The Clash released, which I love that idea that this is your initial introduction into a band, and it's something that's, instead of like, okay, let's try and do something that's kind of big and sort of really gets us out there. Let's do something that's like minute 56, and just get in, say what you need to say, and get out.
Yeah.
That just feels very a piece of The Clash, a band that would later go on, by the time you get to like Sandinista, putting out 3 record albums and songs that are 7-8 minutes long, some of the dancey type stuff.
That's interesting.
So, but certainly in their early years and with the first album, very much in of the pop playbook, or the punk playbook, I should say.
Yeah.
A song that is very direct with its lyrics, and I think it makes sense for a song that's direct about what it's talking about.
Yeah.
To have, obviously it's very much a 3-chord type song, and also to be sort of shortened in terms of the length of it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's it.
Dude made a statement.
Throwing
Wasn't
down,
overbloated.
throwing down, man. Cutting the fat.
Cutting the fat. Okay, Winfield.
My second choice. I do like that we're moving along.
Moving along.
This is going to be a quick episode, you guys.
Quick
Well,
episode.
we'll put in music and stuff. we'll
Fatten it out.
We'll fatten it up. It is a song, Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want,
Oh, okay.
by The Smith.
Good times for a change. See, the luck I've had can make a good man turn bad. So please, please.
Which the
Was that the one you were listening to?
No.
Oh, wow.
The song,
I assumed you just had the Smiths on in a loop in your car, like
That's true.
hardwired.
I do like that the song title itself is longer than the actual song, which is something that Morrissey would later do with like some of his like solo work. He just has like infinitely long titles
Yeah.
to songs, and he's just like, I get it.
We get it.
Just call it Bullfighter.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have to be the Bullfighter. Everything is over and over. But this is a real lovely song and a perfect Morrissey song about longing, and the lyrics are very simple. Good times for a change.
Yeah.
And he just is begging for something nice to finally happen to him. And then the last like third of the song of the minute and a half or the minute and 50 seconds is like a mandolin solo by Johnny Marr. And I was reading about this in my like Mozopedia book, that they didn't play it a lot because they didn't play it earlier on. This was from it was like a B-side of one of their songs from like '84, but they didn't play it a lot until they got another guitarist that came on tour with them, because they had no one to continue with the guitar part
Once he started playing mandolin.
once he got to the mandolin. So they just never played it live for a long time. But I do appreciate that this feels like a very balanced Morrissey and Marr song, where the arrangement is very nice and it's all compact within 2 minutes. And then a good portion of it is just Morrissey stepping away as he plays the mandolin. And I think it's just a very, interesting song. But what I understood drove Morrissey crazy was that it was later covered and extended to like an over 3-minute version of it. And if you've ever seen, it was used in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Really?
There's like a long version of it. I think when they're walking around the art gallery in Chicago, you can hear like another version of the song that like charted and got to like number 81. So and any sort of slight, it
was gonna put Morrissey over the edge.
Anyone else getting one over on him?
Well, didn't Rough Trade or whatever let other artists cover those songs anyway? Like they would just let other singers use the backing tracks.
Well, it was the first of their songs to ever have been like covered by someone else or released as a cover, and of course it charted in some way.
In his book, he talks about somebody else doing that with
Would Stiff do that?
I don't know if Stiff. Oh yeah, because they had the Kirsty MacColl, like they did that with the Tracy Ullman.
Well, they don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they let some kind of not like Petula Clark, but some lady who's kind of the equivalent of that cover another one of the songs, and just here's the track. Just take it. You just record.
Just go with it.
Just go with it.
A band called the Dream Academy covered it.
Oh, really?
Steve Wynn. Not that Steve Wynn. The other Steve Wynn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did Dream Academy do Life in a Northern Town, or that was something else?
That's Dream Theater.
Dream Theater.
I think.
It is our halftime. Oh my God, we are coming in a punk rock pace here. We are the Mount Rushmore podcast, and we're here to entertain you with all our podcast wares that we're selling currently on anywhere you get podcasts. Go back, download, rate, and review past episodes. We'd love a 5-star rating. I don't know if you're going to give it to us, but we'd love it. Please, for once in our lives, let us get what we want. Good times for a change. And so you could also go on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and interact with us on social media. You could suggest a future podcast topic. Please go to our Facebook page, where we host a handful of videos that feature our smiling faces. Richard is handsome. Michael is handsome. I pass. I'm fine.
He's doing it again.
And I don't need any plastic surgery. It's just a nip. If I could just get this stretched out, maybe this big wrinkle in my face would go away. Then I would finally find love. Oh.
Jeff's trying to fill, since we've had 12 minutes of content so far.
just like Gabby Gabby in Toy Story 4.
What's that sound? Guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who could be coming? Oh my god.
Van Gillis?
Oh my god.
Jeff is running on the beach now.
It's me, Andrew Jackson, the punkest president of all. You guys say there's 2-minute songs? I like 2-second songs.
Could you sing one for us?
All right,
That's pretty punk rock, I gotta say.
here's another one. All right, I got another one coming. How do you like those 2-second songs?
Pretty good.
This has been me, Andrew Jackson. Peace out. Hey guys, I just got back from the restroom, washing my hands. What's happening?
We heard nine songs in the span of the 14 seconds you were gone. So
Oh, cool.
And Andy Jax was here.
Ajax was here?
Yeah, he doesn't like Andrew Jackson because it's too long
Too long.
to say. So he decides with his music, he just goes by Ajax.
All right, Richard. Wait, who's first?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Right.
You're on
okay,
it.
okay.
So my third choice, a little bit along the same vein of the Clash song, in that it was the first song off the first album for this artist. So once again, kind of the idea of starting your introduction to the world musically being this very short, punchy type song. It's "Welcome to the Working Week" by Elvis Costello.
Okay, cool.
Now that your picture's in the paper being rhythmically admired, you can have any one that you have ever desired. All you gotta tell me now is wow, 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 wow. Welcome to the working week. Oh, I know it don't thrill
A song that he wrote as on his way on the subway to and from his job as a data programmer at, I believe it was Revlon, or I think it was Revlon or L'Oreal, or it was one of those two. And basically, it was a song. It's a song about him hating his job.
Yeah.
The line, "I know that it don't thrill you. I hope it don't kill you." That's something that I think most of us can relate
Yeah.
to. Lots of great wordplay, kind of vitrolic. It's for the majority of the song, it's just him and his his electric guitar, which is something that's a little bit different. Usually if it's a solo instrument, you're going to hear an acoustic, but with him doing it with
going to be my next choice actually. One that's a single
an acoustic
with
one.
Acoustic, yeah.
Yeah, so is mine. So it was, I think, because his voice was so unique, his style was so unique, the fact that he's playing it kind of as this, almost like you would picture a busker or somebody playing it like at a club or some small club.
Yeah.
And the fact that the song is, a minute 50 long, I think it gave a really unique introduction to someone who became a obviously very unique and impactful musician.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There was the wordplay. I've been reading Nick Lowe's, a biography of Nick Lowe, and Nick says that he and Elvis kind of look back on some of the wordplay, especially within a title. Like if they do a song called "Time Wounds All Heals,"
Right.
they just kind of thought, I was working so hard to be too clever.
Too clever by half, yeah.
Yeah, and if I would have just put that effort in, not to write these like double, triple puns in these lyrics and things like that, if I could just polish up the song,
Be more direct
be
with
more
it.
direct or something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm not saying that song suffers at all for that at all. And what it is nicely is portraying this portrait of this kind of working class dork, a punk dork who Elvis kind of came out.
He kind of was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a neat choice. Okay, Winfield.
My next choice is the one that made me think of this category in the first place. And it's a song called "I Felt Your Shape" by a band called The Microphones.
I thought I felt your shape, but I was wrong. Really,
Never heard of them. He went by The Microphones for a long while until he put out like 3 or 4 albums. An artist by the name of Phil Vellerum, and then their last album was called Mount Erie, and then he changed the band's name to Mount Erie. So he's been recording as Mount Erie for the last 10, 12 years, something like that. But it's just it's him and his guitar singing a single like long verse of a song, and it's just a one kind of verse song. Kind of just starts with the guitar playing, and he sings just these lovely lyrics. I thought I felt your shape, but I was wrong, and da 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 da. And a minute and 55 seconds later, it's over. It doesn't have a break really in them. It doesn't go into a like separate verses or a chorus or anything. It's very diuretic is the wrong word because that means you're trying to expel water out of your body.
Yeah.
But it's like a diary entry. And he's a very interesting artist in that a lot of his stuff is kind of like these. It's either these really intimate diary entry type acoustic songs, or these really loud big songs, kind of about like the universe and the earth and like nature, or they're very personal. If you ever want to listen to the saddest album you will ever listen to,
Oh, wow.
a few years ago, he put out an album called what's it called? The Crow Looked at Me, and it's about his wife had given birth to their daughter, and 4 months later she was like diagnosed with cancer, and she died. And it's just very intimate and very honest and very brutal. And this is like you listen to it and you're like, oh my God. Like I've never, like you don't listen. It's just sad.
Yeah.
And he's a very like honest performer. And he like, now he doesn't perform any of his older music because he says like, nothing mattered.
The same.
Nothing is the same. That world is just so different.
Oh, wow.
But very interesting guy. Check out the song, and we'll play some of it.
What's it called again? I got the band.
The Microphones, and the song's called "I Felt Your Shape."
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay,
But
Manfredi.
it's within this 2-minute span, and it's just perfect.
Okay. Manfredi, your last one.
All right, my last choice is "Never Talking to You Again" by Husker Du.
Oh.
There are things that I'd like to say, but I'm never talking to you again. There's things I'd like to pray somewhere, but I'm never talking to you again. I'm never talking to you again.
Off of their seminal, and I use that term as a music snob would, seminal album, Zen Arcade. And this is kind of a little bit opposite of the last two choices I had, which is a shorter song kind of serving as the representative example of someone as their first sort of as their introduction to the music audience. With Zen Arcade, Husker Du had already put out a couple of albums and a few EPs of this melodic but very much hardcore punk kind of sound. And Zen Arcade was the album that kind of broke the mold for them. It had lots of elements of that, but it also had lots of almost psychedelic elements, very melodic elements, and with this song, an acoustic version.
Oh.
So it is a minute and 40-second. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Dreams Reoccurring. Minute 39, written and sung by Grant Hart, the drummer for the band. So kind of the McCartney to Bob Mould's Lennon. And it was actually the first song that I was introduced to Husker Du through. I had an old SST Records compilation of acoustic songs that were put out on the label, and SST was the big punk rock label in Los Angeles and the West Coast through the 80s. So Black Flag actually founded it, Descendants, all these bands kind of came out on SST. And it stood out amongst even other acoustic songs by punk bands. It's on this album, Zen Arcade. Then I picked up Zen Arcade. And the album is kind of a concept album. It's as much of a concept album as any concept album in music actually ever is. It's never really that much of but this kind of was to some extent. And it's wedged between these two very loud and aggressive guitar songs. So you've kind of, I think it's song number 4. So you've kind of got like 2 or 3 very aggressive songs to start off. That's kind of this wall of noise. And then you've got this song to sort of break it up. And it is sort of Grant Hart talking about being in a relationship and just, tired of wasting all his time trying to talk to this person. So he's decided he's never going to talk to them again. So it's very much in the breakup song ilk, but very, again, I think something that applies to, I think, all of these songs that we're talking about. Very direct, very to the point with what it's trying to say musically and also lyrically.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, Winfield.
My last choice is All Shook Up by Elvis Presley.
Well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love.
Whoa.
And this was another song that I heard, and it was just over so fast. And I don't know how many of Elvis's songs were like that. I was kind of just looking through just now, and his Teddy Bear song also like clocks in under 2 minutes. And he just had like a number of songs, and maybe rock and roll in its early days, they were experimenting with what music was and definitely the origins of it, coming out of blues and especially out of the South, as Elvis did in Nashville and everything. Some of their songs weren't just like these, I don't know how to say it, but like they were just like these little ditties. They were just these little songs that you put Elvis on and it turns into something special. And I was reading like the history of the song, and apparently the origins of the name and the title is kind of disputed, where Elvis claims that he woke up in bed and he was all shook up, and the writer of it, Otis Blackwell, he just had a good phrase, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I love when the actual writers of the songs are like, yeah, I just wrote the lyrics to it. I just wrote it down. I wrote the music, and everyone else is like trying to claim that, oh no, it was an advertisement for 7-Up or something that was inspired. And it's like, the writer's like, no, I just wrote it because I know how to write songs.
Because that's what I do.
That's what, so I became kind of an Otis Blackwell fan when I read about him, and he supposedly was the fastest songwriter on the planet. And people would sometimes challenge this skill by doing something like, you can write a song about anything. Can you write about this? And shake a bottle of Pepsi. And
that thing's all shook up, man.
Yeah, that thing's all
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Or when you got such great lyrics as, her lips are like a volcano that's hot.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not the most sophisticated, but I think that
versus those cold volcanoes, right?
There was supposedly one night, I think it was like Christmas. This seems more like legend, but Otis Blackwell sold like four songs to Sam Phillips or something, and they were all number one golds for Elvis. But Otis Blackwell would also choose phrases that would stand out in a catalog. So all the songs that started with baby or love would be skipped over, and something that stood out like Don't Be Cruel, which he got from a comic book bubble, a romance comic where a woman is talking to a man and the caption is Don't Be Cruel. So he would find things that just didn't fit into that.
That's funny.
Into that list.
No, well, how clever.
Yeah, and supposedly Otis Blackwell was he was an African-American person born in Brooklyn, but he loved country music. And Doc Palmas was I think born in the South, maybe New Orleans or something, and came up to Brooklyn, and he loved rock, and they would pal around together. So, yeah, cool. All right, some great choices, you guys. I am gonna just run through and just grab some and see what we come up with. I liked the background. I love the Smiths, so please. It's fun to find out, kind of to have one, at least get some mandolin in there somewhere. You almost kind of broke my heart with that. The microphones felt your shape. That's so fucking sad. And then I got to always go with, we had two Elvises in this list. Costello with Welcome to the Working Week, and you sure educated me with Never Talking to You Again, Richard, by Husker Du. So we had a tie. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. We got all the sound effects in.
What was the final scoring on that one, Michael?
Richard won 5-7.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
Well done.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, This has been the Mount Rushmore podcast. I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.